everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. I am highly delighted to have a lovely guest with us. She is none other than Eleni. Eleni, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you very much for being our guest. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I am Dinesh. I am the host. Luckily, this is one of our prestigious platform where this platform and me have covered more than 200 episodes, which has included number of TEDx speakers, the best personalities in the world, and few other celebrities. We have Eleni today. Thanks, Eleni, for being with us. Here is a small introduction that I would like to give first, and then I will invite you to tell about yourself in few sentences. Will it
Sure.
be okay?
Sure.
Fine. Thank you. Meet Eleni Manousogiannaki. Perhaps I pronounced correctly. In short, she's Eleni Manu, is a passionate woman's empowerment advocate, cancer survivor, and founder of an AI-powered marketing agency. Her inspiring journey of resilience shines through life's toughest challenges, fueled by faith, hope, and unwavering love for God and others. Eleni's mission is to transform lives one woman at a time with a powerful message. You are worth it. You are worthy. You are loved. Wow, Eleni, please include me too. From overcoming adversity to igniting the inner strength, she is here to share lessons of healing and self worth. Get ready for an uplifting session with a true visionary who turns pain into purpose. And she is the live example who has literally turned pain into purpose. Eleni, once again, I'm so delighted to have you with us. Thank you very much for being our guest. Yes, now the platform is yours. We would love to know few of your achievements in short, please.
Well, I don't like bragging about myself, but thank you. My achievements. I guess just spreading the message of faith, hope, and love. Just spreading the message of our worthiness and the fact that God loves us and that we matter to Him and that we should never give up hope. And my background is in education. I have a master's of art in education.
Hmm?
I taught for over 25 years before I retired from teaching due to medical issues. And after that point, life took some interesting turns. And fast forward to where we are here today. So I'm here to share.
Lovely, beautiful. Well, I'm very proud that you are a teacher because in many of my episodes, I always say that as per the Indian culture, the teacher is more respected, honored, and praised than the God. The reason is it is the teacher who has explained and taught about the God. So teacher is the first person to recognize about to give recognition of the God to the student. So once again, with folded hand, I thank you and bow down with all the respect for you. So nice of you. Thank you, Eleni.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Well, thank you. That's quite a huge compliment. And it just made me think about Jesus and how he was called rabbi, which means teacher in Hebrew. And just the fact that he teaches us how to treat others, how to get closer to God, and how to really accept and love ourselves the way God loves us through his love and forgiveness and sacrifice. So
Really?
again, and that's why I'm here today. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. And just let.
Sure. Here are the questions. The Eleni, your story highlights how faith helped you triumph over the challenges like cancer. Please tell, how did your faith in God guide you through your toughest storms? Platform is yours, please.
Okay, thank you. So, in order to tell you how my faith in God got me through some very difficult storms in life, I have to really back up and start back in my 20s and then fast forward to today. And when I was around 20 years old, I remember thinking to myself and praying and saying, God, what can I do to make a difference in the world? I'm just one person. What can one person do? And I thought about it and I prayed and I just asked God to show me. And I felt like in my heart, like he was saying that even though you're one person, if you put your efforts into the greater good, which is the message of God's faith, hope, and love and forgiveness through Jesus, then your one drop is not just one drop that'll get like lost out there and evaporate. It gets contributed into this giant bucket, which turns into a pool, which turns into a pond, which turns into a lake, which turns into the giant ocean as we all contribute to that, and we all pour ourselves into that. So I felt like that would make a bigger difference than just one person doing something on their own, and I wanted to spread
Right.
that message. And as I resolved that, I felt like God was showing me that there was something, a greater purpose he had for me. And I remember saying, well, why won't you show me? I felt like I was looking through a tunnel and that there was a turn in it and I couldn't see around the corner. Like I couldn't see. I was like, okay, well, why won't you let me see? And I,
Mhm.
I believe now that if God had allowed me to see then, the ups, that would have been great. But then the downs that were practically soul crushing would have probably terrified me. And who knows if I would have been able to keep pushing forward. So even though it didn't show me at the time, as life continued, different things transpired, and I would say I'm a person that doesn't give up. I always have hope and I'm very resilient, and not necessarily in the moment. And I don't believe we're born with resilience. I think it's like the diamond in the ground, right? It's that coal that gets crushed by the earth and by the pressure and the gravity in the core of the earth. And it gets hardened, it becomes a diamond and it becomes something of beauty. I feel like the things we go through in life are very much like that. They press us on every side and we might feel like we're going to suffocate and break and be crushed by them. But if we keep our eyes on God and our faith and hope and trust in him, then we come out these beautiful diamonds. And I see
Right.
the beauty in us that he puts in us. So as I continued forward, there was a point in my life when I wanted to have children, and the doctors told us to forget about it. You're not going to have any children. Just to give an example of how I just don't give up. But I felt in my heart that there was a human out there that God wanted to be born. So I just kept praying and praying, and just I never gave up because I felt like that's something I wanted for my husband and myself. I wanted us to, we both wanted a family, and that was like for me as a woman, the greatest gift of love I could give somebody, besides my own love and devotion, was to give them a child if it was possible, right? So eventually, God gave us that miracle, and we had our daughter. But before that happened, I remember there was one particular day I was driving home from work, and it was a difficult day because one of my students was expecting, and the kids started asking, why don't you have any kids? Why don't you have any kids? And that was the day the nurse had told me to give up. You're never going to have any children. And I remember driving home and I was crying. And as I was driving, it was raining, it was dark, and a song came on the radio that was very uplifting. And then I looked over in the car next to me. It had a license plate, and the license plate said "Have Hope." And so it caught my attention, and I kept going. And then fast forward a year later, we had our daughter. There were all kinds of signs like that along the way. My daughter was 4, I think. She was 4 years old when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And honestly, when I got the diagnosis, it was over the phone. I couldn't believe it. I was completely shocked. It was terrifying. Hearing those words are very scary. And knowing that it was a very aggressive form of cancer, it felt like the floor fell out from under me and like I was in a bottomless hole that would just continue and I would just spiral and spiral and spiral. There was no end. That's how frightening it was. And I just remember thinking, you wouldn't give me my daughter like you did and just leave her an orphan, would you, God? I go, would you? And it was just the whole thing. My whole life became doctor's appointments, treatments, and things like that. I remember driving to work the next day because my boss called me and said, you just need to come in. I was like, I'm a total wreck. I go, how am I going to come to work? And I was driving to work and I was at a stop sign and I was just asking God, what now, God, what now? Right. And I looked up from staring at the dashboard because I was at that red light and the car in front of me. Now, mind you, this is 5 years later. The car in front of me said, have hope on the license plate.
Ooh.
What are the chances that that's going to happen like that? 5 years later, I was heading south the first time I saw it, and now I'm heading north. And that gives me goosebumps just even talking about it. And I feel like it was God's way of telling me it's going to be okay. Just keep your eyes on me. But was I scared? Did I cry a lot? Was I nervous, terrified? Yes, of course I was. There was so much that I didn't know. During this whole entire process, losing my hair, going through multiple surgeries, um, being weak, sick, and tired. It took many years, really, truly, to recover and feel normal again. And even now, I mean, I still struggle at times. It's not like every day is perfect, right? I'm not going to pretend that. But throughout that entire time, it just ripped apart my identity. Even though deeper in my deepest core, I still knew who I was. Looking in the mirror, I didn't recognize the person in there. I didn't have eyelashes, didn't have eyebrows, I didn't have hair. And people would say, well, they'll grow back. But it wasn't the fact that they'll grow back. It was the fact that it happened all so quickly. And you don't recognize who you see. You lose all this weight because you can't eat. And it was a truly scary experience. But on the other side of it, I wanted to let other people know that even when you hear the word cancer, it doesn't have to be a death sentence. And it doesn't have, and I know unfortunately at times it does take lives. But as long as the person never loses their hope and their trust and their faith in that deep core that makes them who they are throughout the process, no matter what happens, whether they live or die, cancer can't win. At least that's how I feel about it. It's when people say that somebody lost the battle, where they never lost the war if they were able to stay true to that inner self. And for me, that inner self was my faith in God and knowing that he loved me and that Jesus sacrificed for me. And just thinking about what he must have gone through on the cross, the suffering he went through, and how my suffering, he would understand it more than anybody else because of the great pain he went through. And it really did give me a lot of comfort during that period. And I just wanted women to know, after that, I wanted women to know that no matter what they go through, it doesn't have to take over, and the fear doesn't have to grip them to the point
Yeah.
where they lose hope. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to ask me questions?
Yeah,
I
because
can
just
keep.
I was sorry I didn't interrupt you because I
Okay.
was just a small request. Please
Okay.
make your answer short.
Okay.
We have
Sure.
got heaps of question, and
Sure.
when we made this advertisement, you will surprised to know that all my listeners have literally they have poured more than 100 questions. Please remember to ask this
Okay.
question, this question, this question.
Okay.
So that is why. Anyway, so nice of you that you explain, and believe me, my what you say, these are the pores. So they pour, literally my skin was vibrating when I heard your experience. Wow, what an experience, and what you could do it, and you are so determined, you are so courageous. It's really lovely, lovely. Well, here is my second question that I would like to go, and please remember to reply in short. And
Okay.
that's, yeah, Eleni, you are, as a cancer survivor, you embodied resilience, as you explained just now, and that too raised from adversity. Tell me, what was the key moment that helped you to realize you could rise like a phoenix? What was
Like
that moment?
rising like a phoenix. Well, it came a few years later. Um, so I went through cancer while I was still recovering. My father passed away. My mother passed away. My best friend passed away. And then there were other circumstances that caused some really drastic life changes. And at the end of those circumstances, I felt completely devastated. And I remember I was walking out of the front door of my house one day. The sun was shining, but I felt completely worthless. I felt like I didn't even deserve to live. I'm like, God, you brought me through so much, and there's so much loss and so much grief, but why did you let me live through all of that, and survive cancer only to come to this point, which was my rock bottom? And I just felt like, well, what do I do now? I go, why don't you just take the breath from me? Why am I still alive after all this pain that I'm suffering? Why? And I go, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy. So in that moment, God reminded me that I was his daughter and how much he loved me, and that I have a child of my own, and that I'm an example to her of how to be a strong woman and how to be resilient, and that if I lose my hope, then that means that I'm setting a precedent and passing this along to the next generation. And what did I really want to pass along? And that was the question he asked me. So I made up my mind in that moment, standing in my doorway with the sun shining down, even as miserable as I felt, that no matter what, I wasn't going to give up, and that I knew that if I just put one foot in front of the other, God would get me through it.
Good. Wow. You could literally turn the situation 180-degree. Lovely. Beautiful. You did it. Well, you are the really an example for the everyone, not only the women, but you are the person. Please tell, how do you help the woman discover their worth when they feel broken? And that includes not only women but male also. How do you empower the people?
So there's a couple things. So I have a website. I wrote a book, and it's called Awakening, Story of God's Transformational Love, and it's on Amazon, and I can include a link. I forgot to
Hmm.
put that in there,
Please.
but it's also on the website. The website for the book is awakeningtransformation.love, awakeningtransformation.love. And if you go there, you can see the book and you can see the links on where to purchase it on Amazon. But even more importantly, I have a section there that's a blog, and the blog on there, the very first blog, which is the one I put in December,
Hmm.
that
Wow.
particular blog has a list of scriptures that remind us of how God sees us, that he sees us as having infinite worth, that we have total value, that he loves us, that he forgives us, that he cares about us, that we're his children. And those are the things that we need to remind ourselves. So when I know somebody is hurting or down, I'll listen to them. I do share publicly if somebody wants me to come speak, or like on podcasts like this, obviously I share like that. And if somebody reads the book, there are 5 stories in there. There are 5 of us that
Hmm.
read the book. I helped lead, spearheaded it. But the message is that you are worth it. You are worthy. You are loved. There's workbook sections in there. There's questions. Different women share their stories. And even though it's a book written by women for women, honestly, the stories also resonate with men as well, because of the struggle we all go through. As humans, we all struggle. So for me, it's a matter of reminding people of their worth. And I've had people tell me that nobody's ever told them that they mattered before. So you don't know who you're going to touch just by saying hello and telling them to have a good day, or just reminding them that they do matter. Because some people have never been told they matter. They've been told that they don't matter. As a matter of fact, many times. So going on that website and using the book as a resource, and I also have another site that's worthyloved.com, and on that website you can find information on how you can nominate a woman for an award that we're going to be doing annually. If she's somebody that exemplifies the principles and the values and the hope and resilience that I want to just pass along to everybody through Jesus, then we want to nominate women for that award and recognize them because of their own, strength and resilience. And again, if you're struggling and suffering and hurting right now, you're still okay. I'm sorry. Your worth, is what I'm trying to say, is not diminished by the level of pain or hurt or suffering you feel. You're still a complete human being that God loves. I just want people to know that they matter no matter where they are and they're walking in their journey. And so I have those resources. I have also on the Awakening website, awakeningtransformation.love, I have a section where you can click, and there's different websites. If you're feeling suicidal or you're feeling depressed or you're homeless, you can click on there, and there's
Ooh,
somewhere you can go to get help. So those are just some things that I do. And when I'm
lovely.
out, if I feel in my heart God leads me to somebody to talk to them, say hello to them, or hug them, I just do it, whether they think I'm crazy or not. I will talk to people if God puts it on my heart that there's something there that feels heavy for them. So I'm an empath and I'm an intuitive person, and I feel like God guides me through His Spirit. So
Oh, great. You're doing wonderful work. Well, out of blue, just I got a one question. Suppose a person is there who has everything. Suppose, especially a woman, she has name, fame, money, position, everything. Now what? What you would like to suggest to a successful person, especially the woman?
suggest to them in what context.
Yes, that purpose. What can be her purpose now?
So if somebody's got everything, and what is their purpose? They're seeking their purpose.
Correct.
Well, I would say start by praying and seeking God's face and asking Him what your purpose is. And then I would
Mhm.
suggest reading the book and seeing if any of the stories, if anything there resonates with you, and you can connect with any of it. Or if you want to reach out,
Lovely.
I will talk to you, I will pray with you,
Very
and I will, ask God to lead you in the direction that He wants you to go. And I think our ultimate purpose is to serve God and to spread God's love to other people through Christ.
right, right. So your central message is serve God. Yes, beautiful. Because that is the most important thing that the universe has been given everything. That is the only thing which is left. That that is the time one should shift herself or himself to serve God. Very right, very right. Well, one more question I would like to ask is please try to reply in short that your deep love for the God and the others it fuels your passion for the change. How has experiencing God's unconditional love shaped your healing journey? How God's unconditional love shaped your healing journey?
Well, I will try to keep this very short, but it's so
Hmm.
difficult. I think that from a very young age, I experienced unconditional love through my mom. And then as my parents aged and got older, I just felt
Hmm.
love from both parents as well. But I feel like God has been there for me. Even when I don't feel Him there, I feel like He's been there for me. And the situations could have gone worse, but somehow the worst situations got turned around. So going back to the beginning, the things that I've been through, being told you can't, you're not smart, you're not pretty, you're not this, you're not that, or you're not going to have children, or you're not worthy, you're not good enough, or you've got cancer. Or, I mean, it was very aggressive and scary, and losing my parents, losing close friends and family, and just things like that. And everybody, we all struggle through life, right? Although no
Right.
matter what happened, God kept reminding me that He was there for me. So for me, His unconditional love doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect. It just means that as long as I know who I am in Him, and I know I'm God's daughter, so God doesn't make junk, then I'll be okay somehow. It doesn't mean I feel okay every day. It doesn't mean that I think I'm perfect or that I feel worthy all the time. But if I live in my purpose, I think and I keep my eyes on Him, that's when I experience His unconditional love the most. And
Okay.
if I let Him love me, a lot of people push away love. They push away
Hmm.
goodness. They push away purpose because they don't feel worthy.
Right. Yes. So here, especially in Australia, I have come across many people, many, especially the young generation and even the children who are the cancer patients. So for them, what one advice you will give to the cancer patients,
Give advice.
especially the young generation?
Advice. I mean, again, the context, I think the context matters. I do notice that a lot of these, it's just remarkable to me, even when young people go through this, the level of strength, resolve, and resilience that they show throughout this. I would have to say that no matter what you're going through, you are worthy, you are worth it, and you are loved. And I'm sorry for the pain and the suffering that you're enduring. And I pray for your comfort and your peace and your
Mhm.
strength and your healing, whether that healing comes in the form of a cure in this world or in the world beyond this one, that you would be enveloped in God's love and that you would feel his peace and his presence with you, no matter where you are and what condition or state you're in. Because I
Good.
don't understand why things like that happen to
Good.
children, but
Yes. Perfect. Now let me change my gear and turn my vehicle in the other direction. Now I'll be asking you short questions. That is, we term it as a rapid fire questions. Please try to reply in fast, short way. And here is the first question for you, Eleni. You are a dreamer. Where one place you would love to travel to right now? What would be your answer?
somewhere I've never been, India, somewhere I've been
Most welcome. Come. Still,
before.
I got my house over there. We welcome you and you will love to be there. Believe me, it's a wonderful country. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I
Here
mean,
is a second question.
okay.
It's about your favorite comfort food. After a tough day, what's your go to snack or meal?
My favorite comfort food takes 6 hours to make. It's called moussaka.
Uh-huh.
It's Greek.
Good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, everyone has got music in their life. And especially the music that lifts everyone. So, what song gets you dancing or smiling no matter what?
It's not a particular song, but Lauren Daigle's first CD. My
Hmm.
best friend gave that to me in 2020, right before she passed away, and I play it all
Hmm.
the time. It's not any one particular song. It just really resonates with me because it reminds me of God's love and beauty for us and his compassion. It's beautiful. Lauren Daigle, if you've never listened to
Would
her.
you like to sing at least one or two line of it?
No.
Okay, okay, okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay. Well, here is the next question for you. That's about the superpower wish. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To heal people's trauma and change their
Hmm.
negative thinking to positive.
Beautiful. Lovely answer. I loved it. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Well, people, especially in Australia, I think you might be knowing that there are more than 1,000 types of coffee is available here. So the most common choice for everyone, a common question for everyone is, Eleni, coffee or tea? Which keeps you going?
My favorite's Greek coffee.
And which coffee?
Greek.
Lovely, yes. Well, here is my next question about the best childhood memory. What's a fun memory from your childhood that still makes you laugh, Alan?
One of my favorite childhood memories. I was born in Toronto, Canada, so driving.
Hmm.
My parents would take road trips in the summer from Ohio, where we live now, and
Hmm.
they would drive to Toronto to visit our family there every summer. So we'd stop at Niagara Falls as well. So yes, that's one of my favorite childhood memories.
Oh, lovely. Well, here is my next question about the dream dinner guest. If you could have a dinner with anyone, living or historical, who would it be, Elni?
My gosh, the person I'm in love with the most, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh.
that's who I want. I'd have to clean my
and,
house
and, and,
really
and
fast or ask him to do it for me, like pray.
And here is my reply to you that in every religion it is said that try to see God in everyone. So you can have dinner with me. Can't you see Jesus in me?
I think God said He made us in His image, and that we are, He formed us in His image. So I think our spirits are meant to be shaped and fashioned like God. And I
Right,
personally, yeah, I'll keep it short, but I have anyway.
right. My next question is the favorite way to unwind. So for that, how do you relax after a busy day,
How I want to
especially?
relax.
Yeah.
No, how I do or how I want to. How I want to is by the beach with a book. How I relax, I love to talk on the phone with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
or in the summertime, meet friends to get a cup of coffee or like
Mm-hmm.
soft drink and just hang out and talk. I'm a very social person.
Why? Okay, then I have got your phone number. So as and when I get bored, I will call you.
Don't call me when it's sleep time here, though.
Well,
Don't call me when it's out. If you call me when I'm sleeping, I'll have to call you back when I'm.
okay.
I don't like that.
Here's my next question regarding the guilty pleasure. What's one thing you secretly love but don't admit often?
What I secretly love and don't admit often. Oh, wow, that could go any direction. I have to
Mm-hmm.
short answer, but now I have to think about it. I don't know. I think I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't really think there's anything that I secretly love. Um,
Nice.
I really can't think of anything, honestly, that I secretly love.
And the people, here is my next question. Most of the people, everyone is different. So, for you, are you a early bird or a night owl, and why?
Oh boy, it varies. I'd say I get more work done in the morning, but I like to stay up late.
Okay, nice, nice. And finally, once again, I would love to ask you, please give a one advice that you would like to give to especially the young generation.
Know your roots, know your heritage, know your culture. Don't forget it. Don't leave it behind. Respect your parents. Ask your
Super.
parents and grandparents about their life. Write it down so you don't leave it behind or forget it when they're gone. And the most important thing is to grow spiritually. Put your eyes on God, not on yourself.
Beautiful. Lovely. Well, Eleni, I have got so many questions to ask, but the time did not permit me. We are out of time now. So, on behalf of my platform, I thank you and pray Almighty God to give you all strength, courage, wisdom, time, power, and everything that you want so that you keep on serving the human race, human being, humankind, especially the women, so that they not only women, everyone needs empowerment, and the people like you who has traveled, experienced, and come out from the problem can only empower. So nice of you. So we say namaste to you. May God bless you. So nice of you for being with us. And please, here is a small one request. As and when time permits, when we call you, please spare some time to be with us and spread your experience, knowledge, so that people would get a new direction. So nice of you, Eleni.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
It was
very
my
much.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.